Scott's up. He says, when working with clients, how do you explain Google Stacks so that they can appreciate what's being built? I would avoid trying to explain to them exactly what it's doing. I mean, some clients are going to ask a lot of questions about like technical details and stuff like that. And if they're curious and they really want to know and you want to explain it to them, then I would try to explain it to them as, using Google's own properties as a buffer between other, SEO, off-page SEO activities that work now but could potentially down the road cause harm. You have to explain that to clients, man. Scott, whenever a client asks about, stuff that what types of things are we doing? And that happens, right? Sometimes they really want to know like what's going on and they're just curious or whatever. And so I'll explain, we produce articles and we blog and we, build backlinks and social signals and all that, but we don't do it necessarily directly to your site, Mr. or Mrs. Business Owner, because that can cause problems. Although what we do works and is technically, in air quotes, and I might not say that to them, but it's it's legit. It works. It's nothing that's going to cause any harm. It doesn't mean that tomorrow Google doesn't change everything once again. Remember, Mr. Business Owner, I do not work for Google, so I can't control what they're going to do. None of us can, but we have best practices in place that have been shown to produce results over time. And so that's why we use Google's own properties as kind of a buffer between our other off-page SEO activities and your money site. And it's basically an SEO firewall that protects your site from potential harm down the road if Google ever decides that they don't like current best practices. And that's what I always say, is just something like that. So basically I'm just telling them it's a great way to buffer or protect their sites, as well as siphon some of the Google authority from Google to their site, right? Because you're saying I'm building a network of Google properties around your site that will all be linked to your site. You will siphon some authority from Google. It will validate the entity and will help to protect it from potential harm in the future. And that's basically how I talk about it. But again, I try to avoid that conversation with clients unless they're really, really curious, because a lot of times you start getting into technical stuff like that and their eyes gloss over and you lose them. You know what I mean? So it's better to talk about how it builds authority and builds their brand than talking about like backlinks and all that other kind of stuff. Talk about how, Google is rewarding brands, and using Google's own properties to reinforce your brand is going to siphon some of that authority from Google, and you will be rewarded for it. Okay. Hopefully that was helpful.